Hello, this is Rob Weicker with your Fly of the Week. This week I'm going to show you how to tie a mayfly nymph. It's called the Green Machine. It's a really versatile pattern, and I tied it in a few different colors. I'm going to show you how to tie the red or the pheasant tail version of it today. And it works really good when blueing olive nymphs are in the water column and pretty active. So we'll start out with our hook. It's a Dai-Riki number 60, size 18. It's a 1x strong, 1x long hook. It's a real good profile for this fly with this hook. The bead that I'm going to be tying on is a copper bead, copper brass bead in a 1/16 or a 1.5 millimeter. The thread that I'm going to be using is Uni-Thread 6/0 Camel. Tail material that I'm using is going to be about 4 or 5 strands of pheasant tail. My abdomen is micro tubing in the color red from Hairline. My wing buds are going to be made out of McFlyon. It's kind of a wing post material. My shell back is going to be tied out of pearlescent Mylar, and it's the medium size. And my thorax is going to be tied out of olive brown iced up. So we're going to start out, we'll just attach our tying thread, and you want to really try to keep a nice slim profile on this pattern. I think that's one of the reasons why it works so well. So you want to try to keep your thread wraps on your base to a minimum, just so it doesn't create too much bulk. We're going to select maybe 4 or 5 strands of pheasant tail for the tail, and we're going to tie them in so it's about the length of the hook gap. Okay, so 2 nice loose wraps to hold that in place, and to keep our thread wraps to a minimum, we're going to tie in our abdomen material here. So let's just go ahead and secure that down. Do a couple of wraps back and come forward. Just bind all that stuff down nice and tight. And you can put some tension on your thread there with that thicker 6/0. Cut off your extra. We're going to wrap our thread right up behind the bead. Okay, now we're going to wrap our abdomen, which is the micro tubing in red, and you can pull it kind of tight to make it real slim. Keep that abdomen profile nice and slim. One wrap right in front of the other. We're going to wrap that all the way up towards the bead. Secure that with a few thread wraps. And we're going to cut off our excess. Now the next step is to secure our flashback for our wing casing. And we're going to put that in right behind the bead. Make sure it stays on top of the hook shank. And we're going to wrap back about 1/3 of the way down the hook shank. Maybe 1/4 of the way. Okay. A few more wraps. Give just a little bit more space. Now we're going to tie in our wing buds. And for the wing buds, I cut off about an inch piece of McFlyon. And then I break it, kind of split it in half, and you want to keep this bunch of McFlyon fairly sparse. It's easy to overwhelm this fly with a big giant wing bud. So a good rule is use half of what you think you need to use, and that'll kind of get you in the right ballpark. And we're going to tie this in across the top in a figure 8. Those wing buds kind of sit out on the side of the fly. Just like that, kind of like a spinner, but wing buds. Okay, if you have any weird little stragglers, go ahead and cut them off. Give them a little pinch so they're all in the same place and not all over the place. Now we're just going to dub our thorax. And once again, real sparse is the key. Use maybe half of what you think you need to use. Nice and slim. We're going to go right up behind. Get a wrap or two, and then you're going to kind of figure eight across the top and the bottom. So you cover that whole thing up there. If you have any extra, just go ahead and pinch it off. Okay. So you can see there I just did a figure eight wrap. Got all that stuff covered. Okay, now we're going to fold our flash back over the top. Secure it right behind the bead. You can give it a loose wrap or two and then kind of pull back on your Mylar, pull down with your thread to really cinch that down inside the fly. And trim that off close. And we'll go ahead and whip finish this. 3-turn whip finish is all you need. Cut your thread. Now we're going to trim our wing butts here, and what I'll do is I'll just gather up all those fibers and cut it fairly close to the thorax there. There's a little bit sticking out, and try to get your both sides to be even. And that is it. There you have it. That's the green machine. You can tie it in a bunch of different colors. Black, red like this guy. Chartreuse is a really good one. Olive and brown. Those are my favorite colors.